Hi, everybody. If you are here with me live, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you're watching the recording, let's imagine that you are here with me in real time because this is how we're going to get even more value. This is Anna Maria from Voda Coaching. Voda Coaching in my native language, Bulgarian, means moon water. And the concept represents the healing and guiding energy of the moon and the hero's journey. If you want to write this down, hero's journey, we're going to talk about the hero's journey a lot in today's masterclass, and I'm going to show you how you're going to become the hero of your life. So without further ado, let's dive in because we have so many amazing things to cover, and I can't wait to get started. But first, some of you are watching this recording because you were invited, or perhaps you found the replay or someone told you you must watch this recording, whatever it is. If you don't know who I am, I'm going to briefly share with you that I have a very extensive training in mindset reprogramming. And not only that, I have built my own business from the ground up. And I'm the creator of unique meditations that use NLP and something you cannot get anywhere else. This is the direct connection to source. So for those of you who are spiritual, you're going to resonate with that aspect of my coaching because I always bridge the mind with the heart and the heart with our higher power. So just so I know if we are on the same frequency, let me know in the chat, hashtag evolve, if you share my belief that life is about connection with something bigger than ourselves. In the chat, evolve. Evolve, yes, very good. I like to say that we attract who we are. And as you know, energy is very powerful. Energy is like a radio frequency. When you vibrate super high, you immediately attract people who radiate super high. And together we radiate even higher. And the last thing I want to share about myself before I talk about you and how can I help you, something that I haven't spoken about that much is my history of dealing with my own challenges. And I think it is very appropriate to talk about my personal challenges because as you're going to uncover in today's masterclass, vulnerability is a superpower. And every single one of us, regardless of how much money you make currently or what is your business status, if you have a business, whatever you are in life, every single one has temporary setbacks. And every setback leads to a comeback as long as you have that next level of confidence and resilience that I'm going to show you how to create in your life. So going back to Anna Maria and her former challenges, when I was very little, my parents started to fight a lot. And my father is a narcissist and an emotional vampire. And my mom is amazing. She's the purest soul I have ever met in my life. Not because she's my mom, she's an angel. And I watched her being emotionally abused by my father every single day. And for those of you who are more empathetic or you are empaths, you understand that you can easily absorb people's energies. So you can imagine when I was very little and I was hearing my parents fight every single day, my mom would cry, and I felt so unsafe in my environment. And when I was around 12, I considered a suicide. And again, I haven't spoken about that part of my life that much. However, there is a silver lining to this story. And the reason I'm telling you this is because just when I was about to commit it, to do it, and even though I was so little, I heard it in my heart. You can call it angels, gods, however you want to call it. I heard a voice in my consciousness that told me, Anna Maria, you were meant to live. You were meant for something. And I felt it, and this was my true power that we're going to discuss today talking to me. And because I was so little and I didn't know how to deal with my emotions, I didn't know how to deal with what was going on in my environment. As you know, when we have emotional disease, this manifests in physical disease. For some of us, it is addiction to drinking, to gambling, to any kind of addiction. It could even be higher blood pressure. For me, unfortunately, it evolved into an eating disorder that I had to deal with until I was early 20s. So long story short, when I was in my early 20s, a little bit over 10 years ago, I heard the voice in my consciousness again, and it told me, Ana Maria, you have to go to America and you have to figure out how to get to the bottom and heal yourself. When I say to the bottom, I mean to the bottom of my pain. That I was hiding so well with being social and having friends. You know how we are when we hide. We pretend that we're fine. This was what I was doing. I was pretending. So again, long story short, I came to America, and at the time my English was mediocre. And I was faced with the complete unknown of moving to a different country. And throughout the process of healing myself, and I'm a speed reader, so this time I was reading to 1 to 5 books per week. I kid you not. I was fully immersed into personal development. I read every book under the sun that I could find, from high performance to psychotherapy to everything under the sun, as I said. And ultimately, at the last year of my school, I conducted a research. I worked with a mentor, Professor Juliet McMains from University of Washington. And in this research, I wanted to test my hypothesis. So when I was in my mid-20s, I already started changing. I started to overcome these limiting beliefs. I started to build unshakable confidence in myself. I started to feel like my life really has meaning and direction. And I wanted to share this passion I had with others. And because I didn't want to assume that what works for me is going to automatically work for somebody else, I started working with volunteers, and I was coaching them pro bono to see if what I have created for myself could be replicated. So long story short, after a 92% and more of success rate in my coaching, here we are today. I know some of my clients can tell you in the chat about the results. Everyone can change because your true power is on the inside, and you become resilient not because you are tough. It's because you allow yourself to have sensitivity, to embrace vulnerability, and to step into the power of knowing who you are, who you're meant for, and trusting God and source energy to help you. Hashtag evolve. If my story in some way resonated with you, wonderful. And I can't wait to hear your story. And we're going to talk about your story in just a moment. And now, according to a lot of research, our brain cannot contain too much information. And as you probably agree with me, we are not information deprived. We are oversaturated with information. What we are deprived is connection. And this is why, even though, of course, I'm going to teach you concepts that you can implement right away, the focus of my masterclasses is connection. And I invite everyone to share, to comment. If you have questions, you can raise your hand. We're going to do this together. And again, going back to research, because we cannot contain so much information over 90 minutes, I'm going to share with you the top 3 takeaways from this masterclass 3 times in this masterclass, so that you get to this 333, which is an angel number, and you fully remember tomorrow and the day after exactly what to do to level up. So the first thing you have to level up, regardless of where you are, ultimately, this is evergreen information. It applies to everyone. Even if you are my client, even if I coach you personally, this applies to you. The first thing at every level is to start recycling, as I call it, limiting beliefs or paradigms and replacing them with empowering ones. Every single person has limiting beliefs. And the tricky part of limiting beliefs is that they're so hidden, you're not even aware of. And again, just to give you an example, limiting beliefs are these subconscious conjectures that you have created that are holding you back. And very often, these limiting beliefs come from your ancestors, from your primary caregivers, society. Society creates the social paradigms that are some sort of rules or norms we follow subconsciously again. And an example of a limiting belief is that you have to grind super hard to be successful. You have to work 9 to 5 to be successful. Another limiting belief is that you cannot be spiritual and be abundant. Another limiting belief is that you have to know what your next level is to create it. And let me elaborate on this one. Now, if you try to create your next level through your rational mind, you're going to hit a plateau. This is why I work with people who are extremely knowledgeable. We're talking about Ivy League schools, people who have been trained by Tony Robbins and so forth. Intellect reaches a plateau. You have to understand that. So if you overanalyze what is your next level, you're still going to come up with some sort of intellectual understanding that doesn't fully come from your heart. And this is why the number 2 step to level up is to redefine success your way. What makes you truly happy? Not what you think makes you happy, what makes you truly happy. And there is a huge difference. And ultimately, happiness comes from what we do, from our hobbies, from our interests, from the things that give us joy and novelty, adventure, and so forth. Fulfillment comes from why we do what we do and who do we do it for. This is why if you were drawn to this masterclass, perhaps, and I'm pretty sure, you're one of these pioneering souls that are ready to raise the consciousness of the planet. So if you have been looking for your life purpose, or if you're already living your purpose, or if you know someone who lives their purpose and you want to figure out how to follow your purpose, whatever it is, I'm absolutely sure that your heart, your soul led you to this masterclass for a reason. Because fulfillment, when we talk about next level fulfillment, it's about impact. It's about what we give back to the world. What's the reason we were born? As I mentioned with my story, even though I have faced many challenges myself, what I share with you is just a very small fraction of what I have dealt with. If you have dealt with demons in your head, you know what I'm talking about. And because I have always known at the core of my being that I was meant for something, that got me going. And ultimately, we always have a choice to go back in the shadows with all of these limiting beliefs circulate, or step into the light. Step into the light and embrace the power of who we are. And now, before we get to the essential of today's masterclass, which is the hero's journey, and this is where I would love to hear more of your stories, and we're going to do interactive exercises together. Again, if this picture resonates with you, wave at the camera, because I feel like every single time when we feel, overwhelmed by too many directions, this is exactly what is happening in our heads. Like, where am I going? So if this is happening to you, you're so not alone. It happens to many of us. And ultimately, when we don't have a clear direction, is because we are not connected to our purpose. Your purpose is your inner GPS. It is your inner guidance. So even when you're lost in the woods, your inner GPS is guiding you. And it's so important to pause and reflect to the wisdom inside you and to embrace that wisdom, because there is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is about knowing what to do. Knowledge is about giving people very good advice. Knowledge is about having action steps. Wisdom, integrated wisdom, is when you are guided by this inner wisdom. And for those of you who came to this masterclass because you want to play with advanced concepts, can you wave at the camera if you know what clairvoyance is? Yeah, very good. Now, how many of you are familiar with clairsentience and claircognizance? Andrea is familiar. Amazing, very good. Very good. Who else? Who else is familiar with these terms? Okay, so for those of you who are not familiar with these terms, and I'm going to show you how to use them in your own journey. Clairsentience is another form of extrasensory perception when you are able to pivot very quickly because your consciousness is able to pull from so much information, and you're fully present. You're fully present, and you can adapt to the present moment. And this way you can receive this metacognition. When you are stronger than your fear at all times, when your fear and your limiting beliefs, they become an echo that no longer represents the domain of your ideal self, of your higher self. Now, claircognizance is the psychic ability to not only experience what the other person is feeling, this is empathy. Claircognizance is when you're able to guide them through how they are experiencing their emotions, which is coaching in a way. And ultimately, this extrasensory perception that I talked about in the clairsentience helps you to receive a higher calibration of what your next level is. And I'm going to pause here for a moment because I know this is a lot. And I want to give you a very simple example how to use these concepts. So let's imagine that you are dealing with self-sabotage, or you're dealing with a dark night of the soul, or you're dealing with challenges, whatever it is. We are human beings, we have challenges. And an average way, to put it this way, to deal with challenges is to do what you have been doing your entire life. To withdraw back to fear, to start self-sabotaging even further, to relinquish any sort of personal responsibility. Or when you receive this extrasensory perception, you tune into a higher vibration. And when you tune into a higher vibration, you feel guided. Even if you feel lost, you still feel guided, if that makes sense. And again, a super simple example. Let's say two people are lost in the woods, and the first person is very much in the ego. And the first person starts to think that everything is working against them. What a gloomy place to be at. I want to go back home. Like, the first person starts to whine, to complain, to relinquish responsibility for their situation and so forth. Whereas the other person looks around at this gloomy forest and tells themselves, okay, how can I learn from this? How can I start hearing the wisdom of the trees? How can I connect to my inner wisdom? How can I connect to a higher power? How can I trust that I'm not being lost right now? I'm searching for a direction to a higher plane. Now, this is a metaphor, of course. However, I hope you get the point. When you're dealing with challenges, you either withdraw back to fear, or you step into your true power of accessing a higher consciousness that always leads you forward. Okay? Now, before we continue, does anybody want to share? It could be a personal example. Perhaps you want to restate what I said to make sure you remember it. I'm going to give you a moment. You can unmute yourself. This is a very important part of this masterclass. I want to make sure that it's fully sinking in. Who wants to share?
This is Andrea. I'll share. I think sometimes for me, it's the difference between I've always been a why not person than a why person. It seems why is why me? Why is this happening to me? And I have always been a well, okay, this is happening, but how are we gonna? What's gonna be the positive of this? Why not? Think of let's think outside the box. There's got to be a creative way. So I think it's more of an opening versus a close. If I'm understanding you correctly, it's more about being open to all that is available to us rather than just taking our wisdom and closing ourselves into a box, if you will. That makes sense. Is that right? Is that accurate?
Yes, I was nodding because I love the way you said it. Instead of locking our wisdom in a box. No, can you put this down in the chat? Thank you, Andrea. That was really powerful. I love that. I want to repeat it again because I really like the way she said it. Not locking our wisdom in a box. Mel, please make sure that you credit Andrea for that. I love it. It's so good. And I want you to, if I have Andrea's permission, to play with this concept. that if there is a box, even again, and I love how Andrea said it, wisdom. Because for those of you who joined just recently, we already elaborated on the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And knowledge is more intellectual, wisdom is embodied. And even then, we can reach a limit. And this is why many people hit a plateau and they keep doing what they're doing. And what I want to show with you, which I hope you perceive as very inspiring, I believe that there is always the next level. And I feel like that in my industry, coaching and business, there is so much ego, and I feel like many people are so resistant to learning. So I want to play with you a very short clip, is 1 minute long, and then we're going to continue with this masterclass, because I believe that the best type of confidence is when you don't talk about yourself, you let other people talk about themselves. And I received a very short video just today, and I felt it out in my body, and I felt like I'm supposed to share it with you. And this video can show you that what exactly it is to connect to this spiritual alignment.
Hello, I want to talk about my experience with Anna Maria as a coach. I myself am a coach. My name is Anna. I'm a good coach, but even good coaches need somebody to help them through their own blind spots and their own limitations so that they can be great for themselves and for their clients. And this is why I reached out to Anna Maria. The experience I had with her went above and beyond anything I could have actually imagined. First of all, like the spiritual x-ray that she talks about in her amazing meditations, even with the little I had told her, she already had an idea of what was going on with me. So we didn't waste much time on the diagnosis, kind of. And second of all, she actually managed to create change very quickly. Because of her knowledge and her experience, she has created technologies to work through the issues that her clients face very quickly and very efficiently. And third of all, she's an amazing human being. Her love, her compassion, her empathy, and her true desire to help her clients really shine through. And this is what helped me create my results as well. Since the time that we worked together, I have gotten through many of the things that were keeping me stuck. I've made amazing progress in my training as a coach and in my business, and I'm actually multiplying that impact with my clients. So if you want somebody to help you accelerate your results and create...
Yes, the reason, thank you, Anna. And the reason I share this with you is for one reason only, and this reason is that if you want to lead others, you have to lead yourself. You have to be a leader, and you have to become the best version of yourself, because only then you can lead your business, your relationships, other people. And ultimately, again, as I told you, this next level that you're searching can only be found in your heart. And this is, again, how we create that next level of freedom. And this next level of freedom is about being fully liberated from these noises in our heads that tell us what we can or cannot have. And another way to look at that as this next level of freedom and next level of power is always choosing impact, because it's so easy to choose wealth first. And I can guarantee you that impact and wealth go together hand by hand. However, wealth doesn't always lead to impact. And if you flip the script, if you start with the impact, the wealth is always going to come along, because the universe wants you to be rich. The universe wants you to be successful. The universe wants you to be showered with abundance and love and joy. And finally, being fully in your power is about being fully comfortable with who you are. With who you are and who are you meant for. And when you're fully comfortable with who you were meant for, you become a trailblazer. You become a visionary leader. You create a path even if the path doesn't exist. Because you have that impetus. You have that inner drive, and you have that desire to do something that is bigger than yourself. So now I would love to hear from most of you in the chat, ideally all of you, what's the best part of being fully in your power? What could you do if you know that your entire mind, body, and spirit are in harmony, in strong calibration? You manifest in your sleep. You are so effortlessly magnetic. You exude that passion for what you do. You have dreams. You literally and metaphysically, you go to bed and you dream. Yesterday, I dreamt about a technology that allows us to fly 10 years in the future. That was just another night in my dreams. It's fun. It's fun when you unlock your power because you're fully connected to something that is very, very, very outside of the box that Andrea talked about. So tell me in the chat, please be vulnerable, be honest. All of us crave that next level. That's why we're here. I crave my next level. This is why I'm creating it every single day. In the chat, tell me what's the best part of being fully in your power, whatever that means to you. I'll give you a moment. What's the best part of being fully in your power? Perhaps this is an advancement in your career, in your relationships, in your manifestation, in your health. What does it mean to you to be fully in your power? Andrea says, the massive amount of people I may serve, absolutely love it. And I would love to hear how being in your power is going to help you to do that. Sylvia says, the best part of being fully in my power is that life becomes full of wonder again. Nice, very good. Being fully in my power, says Chris, I'm free to be myself. I can help others create impact and therefore be rewarded with abundance. Yes, yes, yes. Being fully in your power is about being the most authentic version of yourself and also understanding the difference between fitting in and belonging. Because when we are not fully authentic, we fit in and we compromise. When we belong as our most radiant and empowered self. Very good. Richard says, being in my power, living in my purpose becomes automatic. I love it. Yes. In your day and not something you have to try to do. Yes, yes, yes. Motivation stays stronger and success becomes abundance. Absolutely. Andrea says, be an example to others and show them we can all be out of our limiting boxes. Absolutely. We can only lead people, as I said, to the extent we lead ourselves. This is why investing in yourself has that reoccurring return of investment, literally and metaphysically. Because the more you invest in yourself, the more your energy becomes potent and powerful. Very good. I would love to hear from the rest of the group. What's the best part of being fully in your power? Okay, we'll get one more comment. Elena says, not being distracted by mishaps that are part of the growing process. And I always like to turn it in the positive. So the opposite of not being distracted is being focused of the things that are going well. Again, your energy has to follow your command. So if you command your energy to focus on the things that are not going well, you lower your vibration. When you focus your energy on things that are going well, you already increase your ability to spot these things that are going well. Sheldon says, being in my power, a moment of suspense. Eliminates the noise of external expectations and societal norms. It provides a clarity of purpose and vision that makes decision-making more straightforward, even in more complex situations. Very good. And I always say that this is exactly what I'm doing this event. Try to respond with your heart. Because ultimately, I feel like everyone can come up with a very sophisticated definition of personal power. However, ultimately, our personal power is revealed through daily actions. And daily actions are usually very simple to explain. Did you get your workout today? Did you eat enough fruits and vegetables? Were you kind to your people? Were you a good leader? Were you an attentive listener? Did you allow inner criticism to sway you? Or did you empower yourself to rise above your fears? This is personal power when it is very applicable to our daily existence. Very good. Feeling peaceful, yes, this is an example of very straightforward action step. Very nice. Woo! Synthesize, being fully in my power, I can energetically give the feeling and share its value. I like it. Very good. Jacqueline says, being in my power means being confident and believing in myself and your ability to impact others. I love to hear this word impact from many of you. Very nice. More confidence in self, more impact. Yes, absolutely. Nice. Very good. Nice. Amazing comments. All of you are so attuned and so inspiring. I'm absolutely impressed. I can live from the heart. Yes. Wow. Very good. Now I invite you to unmute yourself and to avoid polyphony. Let me count to 3, and then you're going to unmute yourself. And everybody's going to say out loud with your hands on your heart or a little bit in front of your heart, I am already in my power. I'm powerful beyond measure. My true power comes from God or from the source, if you wish. Mel, please put them in the chat. I'm already in my power. I'm powerful beyond measure. My true power comes from above. To be more inclusive. Okay, unmute yourself in 3, 2, 1. Let's do it together. I'm fully in my power.
I'm fully in my power.
I'm powerful beyond measure.
I'm powerful beyond
beyond measure.
My true power comes from above.
My true power comes from above.
2 more times with joy and passion. I am already in my power.
I'm already in my power.
I'm powerful beyond measure.
I'm powerful beyond measure.
My true power comes from above.
My true power comes from above.
And one more time together. I'm already in my power.
Already in my power.
I'm powerful beyond measure.
Powerful beyond measure.
My true power comes from above.
My true power comes from above.
Thank you, everybody. This is absolutely true. And now, going back to how do we live this masterclass with clear action steps. The one thing that I always invite everyone to do is to start with the end in mind. So when I coach my clients, we always project a vision for where they want to go. This is why when I work with the client who doesn't know where to go, it is slowing us down because we are not on the freeway. And I want you to imagine that you are on the freeway. What happens when you're on the freeway? You're more relaxed, you're just driving, and you feel that you're going somewhere. Yes or yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Right? Very good. Now, what happens if you are in a busy traffic and you might get a little bit frustrated and you might stay in one spot and nothing is nudging? What happens? Nothing. Or at least it slows you down. So the manifestation next level concept to work with today is that you are on the freeway. And you are only on the freeway when you stop being in that energy of one foot on the gas and one foot on the pedal, which is called cognitive dissonance, or a simple word, self-sabotage. So imagine that I'm trying to go somewhere, but one of my feet is on the brake. This is what happens when we are trying like a robot. We're trying to live by default and expect a different result. So ultimately, what you need to do to level up is to liberate yourself from this barriers in your subconscious mind that are the energy of a brake. So they are holding you stuck. And this is why Zig Ziglar said, if you want to reach a goal, you must see the reaching in your own mind before you actually arrive at your goal. This is why in my coaching, I do a lot of mental rehearsal, a lot of visualization, a lot of placing yourself in the coherence of where you want to be. As you know, feeling is the secret. And ultimately, again, if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to go far. It's just physics. And If you really want to reach your next level, ultimately have a very clear vision of what you want. And most importantly, why you want it. If you want more sales in business, why? To give you a very simple reason, when you have more sales in your business, you can pay more, you can pay more people, you can hire more help, you can create more impact, you can reach new people, you can have more impact through social media, so much you can do. Money is the blood of each business. It requires blood to live. This is inevitable. However, if you only focus on the money part and you forget about the why, then you get in your head and you start to worry. And worries drop your vibration. Whereas when you fully believe that there is always more than enough, when you truly believe that God and universe want you to be wealthy and rich so that you can fulfill your potential, magic happens. So this is why number 2, after you create your vision, is to break it down. I see some balloons. How did that happen? Did you see that? I started seeing some balloons on my screen. Is it just me? That's so funny. Okay, nobody saw it. I am telling you, I saw balloons coming from my screen. Maybe that was some confirmation coming from above, you know? That's crazy. I'm swearing. I saw balloons. Okay, well, thank you. That's good. I like it. So number two step that you really have to implement to get you to your next level, I'm still laughing about the balloons, is to make sure that whatever you want to create, you can break it down. You can break it down. And yes, in business, we work with KPI and so forth. However, in every other goal, it's usually very simple. If you want to be at your most ideal shape, then start going to the gym 3 times. Make sure you have your workout gear the night before, things like that. It doesn't have to be complicated. However, you really have to know where you're going and then to take a very clear action every day to make it happen. And then number 3, and again, this is the most important step, is to focus your intention towards a goal or an outcome that is meaningful to your heart. That is meaningful to your heart and not just your brain. So tell me in the chat again, remember repetition, it helps you to create that concurrence between your mind and your heart. In the chat, what is a goal that is very meaningful to you? Very, very simply. Imagine that we are meeting 12 months from now, and it's next November 2024, and we are reflecting back on this masterclass, and I'm asking you, what did you accomplish over this year? What did you create? Where did you go? Who did you meet? What is a goal that is meaningful to you? If I am to ask you 1 year from now, what did you accomplish? What did you create? What made you happy? What made you excited? What are you going to... Chris doesn't know how to make the balloons. Let's not spoil the magic. In the chat, what is one goal that is very meaningful to you? Peace sign? Okay, let's not get distracted. My inner child is ready to play with balloons, but let's stay focused. In the chat, everybody, I'm going to repeat number 3, yes, of course. The number 3 step is to create a goal that is meaningful to your heart and not just your brain. Very good. And Richard says, get a new car and a new apartment. Okay, get a new car and a new apartment. And ultimately, why is this goal meaningful to you? We're going down, and I want to make sure that whatever you are creating for yourself is meaningful to you. And again, I'm going to give it 30 seconds to do that. I'll be right back. And I'm back, and the light is back. See, sometimes it happens very fast. It's a matter of choice to step into the light exactly as I did. Okay, in the chat, very briefly, very quickly, and very efficiently. What is a goal that is meaningful to your heart? And if you don't know, that's okay. You can tell me in the chat. I'm still figuring it out. I want you to get in that mindset that wanting things that are financial or tangible are rarely coming from our heart. Our heart doesn't care about money. Let me tell you this. Our minds and our ego cares about money. Now, we require wealth to be prosperous in today's society. However, our heart doesn't care at all. Our heart wants to be happy, to be fulfilled, to be joyful, to be appreciated, to be valued, to be respected, to feel really good. Our heart wants emotions. Very good. Let's see. Mike says, being a place financially to make massive impact towards my purpose and mission. Yes, absolutely. Very good. Sheldon says, my primary goal for the year is to expand the reach and impact of my work in revealing inner greatness. I love it. Very good. Andrea says, I became a 7-figure woman and I'm traveling all over the world helping others achieve the same remotely. I love it. Congratulations. Very good. Amazing. Now, this is exactly how we bridge impact and wealth. Very nice. New car cash. As long as this is meaningful to your heart, thumbs up. Chris says, have 10 sales reps on my team earning 1 million or more. Very good. Very good. Now, as we are continuing with the heart, again, I want to pause here for a moment and take it or leave it. I'm speaking from the experience of someone who is very happy. So again, take it or leave it. However, if you want to learn from someone who is genuinely happy, then my 2 cents are, I totally understand that in business you want money. I get it, me too. I'm also a business owner. I get paid and I enjoy getting paid because I value myself. However, if you're only thinking about money, what brings me money, how can I make more money, you're completely missing the point. You're completely missing the point. Focus on the energy. Focus on the energy. Money is going to come. The universe doesn't care if you request $10 or if you request 1 million or 1 billion or 10 billions. The universe doesn't understand. Money is an illusion. Money is energy. The universe can give you $10. The universe can give you 10 millions. Easy. Just ask and it's given. However, if you keep asking from your ego, the universe is not going to respond to you because the universe responds to emotion. The universe responds to your heart coherence. If you're trying to manifest from your head, you're not going to get very far. You have to manifest from the heart. And the truth is that most people live from the root chakra, which is around your spine. And this energy is all about survival. So if you're living in a survival mode, if you're living in a default state and every day is the same, you're not going to ascend your energy. And after the root chakra, we have the sacral chakra, which is all about energy and pleasure and fun. And again, if you only live from the sacral chakra, you are still missing the point because you're overly fixated on pleasure. Pleasure is fun. I love pleasure in all areas. However, if your only focus is pleasure, again, you're missing the point. Then we come to the solar plexus, which is our true power. However, if you are only focused on being powerful, this can easily lead to arrogance, or you can get drunk on power. We see it happen so often, especially in politics. Now the true magic comes in the heart, because the heart links your physical body with your spiritual body. The heart is where the true magic happens. The heart is when you heal yourself. The heart is when you fully remember who you were and who you're meant to be. And when you are prosperous in your heart, when you draw your intrinsic value from who you are, wealth is going to be attracted to you, just like everything else. So if you want to write this down, this is a huge game changer. When you are in the magnetic energy, things are attracted to you. And this is extremely important. When you are a very magnetic person, when you operate from a very higher frequency, you are attractive, and this is why you require boundaries. I'm actually going to pause the slides because I want you to fully understand this is super important. When you raise your frequency, you become a super magnet. And now most people want to be super magnets, but they don't realize that, as we say, with great power comes great responsibility. When you become a total magnet for everything beneficial for you, love and impact and wealth and so forth, you have to remain humble, you have to have humility, and you have to have boundaries. Because if you don't have boundaries, especially if you are more empathetic by nature, you're going to start attracting negative people as well. So if you have experienced a situation when you absorb people's negative energy, it's because you are a magnet. However, you haven't learned how to use your magnetism for good. And again, this is not conscious. Nobody wants to attract negative energy. However, how we do one thing is how we do everything. So, but the bottom line of this part of this masterclass is, if you are a super magnet, if you want to be a magnet for love and wealth and impact and everything else, you have to work on yourself. You have to work on your values, on your ethics, on your boundaries. You have to know how to shield your energy from psychic attacks and so forth. I know this is a lot. However, here we're not together to talk about superficial stuff. You didn't join this class to talk about things you already know. Everyone knows that they want more money, because the thing is that when we have greed, no money is going to satisfy you. You're going to hit 1 million, you're going to want 10 millions. You're going to hit 10 millions, you're going to want 10 millions. And this is problematic because, again, I really hope you get it. I'm also running a very successful business because we live in a society where money is a vehicle that helps us to get to where we're headed. Money could be used for a lot of impact. You can give so much. You can donate so much. You can help so many people. So I'm all about being very wealthy. I hope you get it. As long as this is not your primary goal. Because if this is your primary goal, then you detach yourself from your values. And then you start making mistakes. And then you start downgrading your standards. And then you start blaming the universe that is not giving you what you have requested. And then you go back to whining and victimhood. You get it? Personal responsibility is when you are in the energy of love and compassion and equanimity. Because this way you're always expanding. And this is why when I talked about these advanced concepts, Andrea knew. And she's a seven-figure earner. Coincidence? I would say no. Because if you want next level, you have to be next level. You have to be next level. Very good. Now there are some comments in the chat. Very nice. Wonderful. Very good. Yes. Amazing contributions to the chat. Thank you so much. And now, as we go back to our masterclass, the 3 things to remember so far is, for you to unlock your next level, is to recycle any old limiting beliefs. This is number 1. Number 2, connect your heart and intrinsic value. Your self-worth is infinite. Your net worth is a reflection of how you view money. When you have a wealthy mindset, you attract money easily. So your net worth as a reflection of your money beliefs. Whereas your self-worth is infinite. So as long as you start growing your self-worth, your net worth is always going to be impacted as well. And then number 3, embody the energy and presence of what you want. Be that energy. You have to be that energy. If you want to be the energy of success and money, you have to speak that energy. You have to think through the mindset of a very successful person. Success begins in your mind. When I started my business, I had no profits in the beginning, and I still view myself as a very successful businesswoman. And today I am, because my mindset was already in this frequency, and then my finances had to catch up. This is how you do it. However, if you start with your finances and your self-worth is lingering behind, we create a lot of disappointment. This is why we see a lot of people who are very wealthy and they are emotionally backward. So if you want to be emotionally and spiritually wealthy, you have to focus on feeding your heart with good emotions. And this is how you unleash the hero within. And I want to, as we are summarizing the concept so far, I want to briefly talk about the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is how you embark on your next level. The hero's journey is a concept introduced by Joseph Campbell, as I'm sure some of you know, and it's been known in folklore and movies. If you have seen Star Wars is a very good example of the hero's journey. And Please take your pens and write this down, even if you are familiar with the steps. I want you to see how you can connect it to your life. So the number one step that every hero takes is the call to adventure. Call to adventure. And the call to adventure is when you're living your life and then your soul calls you to do something. Whether your soul calls you to come to this masterclass, to hire a coach, to hire an expert, to travel internationally. Whatever it is that you did as your first step is this call to adventure. To give you an example with Star Wars, Luke in the beginning is just a random boy. And then he gets the invitation to embark on a journey and he says yes. So the first step that you have to take towards your next level is to say yes to your quest for greatness. If you say no, you're not going to get far. And the problem is that the number two step of the hero's journey is a refusal of the call. So I want you, I got it. Make the peace sign and the balloons start popping up. Fun. Okay, so the number two part of the hero's journey is when there is a refusal of the call to go on the journey. And you have to be cognizant of our ingrained resistance to change. So usually at number two step, we start to allow old fears and doubts to pull us back to where we started, right? So in the beginning, every hero is wondering, shall I go? Shall I not go? Shall I go? Shall I not go? So if you're dealing with fears and doubts, this is a part of the process. This happens at every part of your hero's journey. Every part. Every time when I create something different, I go through my own fears. This is completely normal. Everyone deals with that. Then number three, and again, this is a step that most people overlook, unfortunately. The number three step for every hero is getting supernatural aid. This is when you receive support, whether this is a mentor or any kind of support. In Star Wars, Luke trains with Obi and Yoda. So he gets the wisdom and he gets the physical resilience. It could be anything. However, it's important to know that we live in a hyper individualized society where receiving guidance is perceived as a weakness, which is a social paradigm that needs to go. If you want to level up, you have to be a team player and you have to receive guidance. You have to have that mentor to push you to jump, quantum jump towards your next level, which is crossing the threshold. This is when you start changing. This is when you start receiving different insights and breakthroughs. This is when you start changing your mindset. Very, very important. And then you go through multiple trial and errors and defeats and setbacks until you go through the ordeal. The ordeal is the big battle. This is where Luke faces Darth Vader. The big battle could mean anything to you. This is where you have to face your biggest fear. And then after that, the hero receives a reward. This is where you receive your manifestation. First, you have to put in the effort, and then you receive your reward, whatever it is that you want. And then the hero returns, and the hero is resurrected. The hero is different. This is why, as you know, when you create this next level transformation, you're not the same. And it makes sense that you no longer resonate with certain people. If you have a higher frequency, you're not going to resonate with people who complain, who have a victimhood mentality, who have scarcity thinking, and so forth, right? Because success breeds success. Energy begets energy. When you are successful, you want to surround yourself with successful people. This is why we say rich people grow richer. Why? For that reason, because rich people tend to hang out with rich people. And this is energetically. It is an energetic formula of attraction. So ultimately, the final step of the hero is to turn to their environment with a new insight. So this is when you can unlock your impact. So for those of you who are driven by impact, this is it. First, you have to become the hero of your life so that you can become a hero for others. Because if you are a hero who always self-sabotages or always talk yourself out of the things you want, or who is at level 2, which is fears and doubts, and is resisting receiving help, or mentorship, you're not going to become the hero, right? So ultimately, to become the hero, you have to dedicate time to go through this journey and come back home. And now, before I learn from you and how do you become the hero of your life, another thing I want to share with you is the allegory by Plato. And the allegory by Plato is about entering the cave that contains your deepest fear. And the interesting thing about this allegory is that when people enter a cave with shadows, they're not even aware that they are inside of a cave. So you have to leave the cave altogether to realize that what you have been seeing is a reflection of a shadow that reflects the external object. So the moral of this story is that if you feel like you are inside of a dark cave right now, you have to step into the light. You have to realize that everything you are experiencing is a reflection of an old shadow that no longer represents who you are. And your true power is with it. Your true power is about who you choose to become, becoming the hero of your life. And now, as we continue, I would love to hear from you. I want to hear from 3 people something that is specifically resonating with you, perhaps from the hero's journey, and how are you going to apply it to your life, or from something else from this masterclass. You can unmute yourself.
Well, I think I experienced like something like this when I started working with Chris, because I came from a bad situation. I always had motivation, but the company I worked for wasn't great. I came over to with Chris. I got super motivated again because I met with Chris and Tony was with us, who's like a mentor to me. And I ended up doing like more sales, more appointments, and just felt the drive within myself that I've spoken to a lot about. That I feel like I'm on a rocket ship, and I feel like I do battle with that because I go in and out of it. We all do. It's a battle we have, but I know since once I experienced that, I know how to get myself back on track because I've experienced it. So I know what it is to look for, and I know what it is I have to do to make that happen. It's just sticking to your consistency.
I love it. Thank you so much, Richard. And it sounds like you experienced the hero journey. You got a mentor. Chris is a phenomenal mentor, and Tony is as well. I know Tony. And ultimately, you went through the hero's journey of dealing with your own limitations, and then you can apply what you have learned and always level your life, from what I'm understanding. Very good. Awesome. Very good job. Who wants to share? Who else wants to share?
I'll make a quick one. I think the Star Wars journey resonates with me. I've always liked Star Wars for a while and the Force, and I'm familiar with Luke's journey. So I appreciate that example.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I figured that if I have guys today, the Star Wars example is going to click. One more comment, and then we're going to continue. Who wants to share?
I'll share the Star Wars. I'm not a guy, but I love Star Wars. I guess to describe that hero's journey, I guess I never really thought of Star Wars having that in there, but I think oftentimes in life or at least I'll just talk for myself. You start on that journey and you cross the threshold, and then you realize the battle was more than you thought, and you retreat back to the beginning of the path, and you go, okay, this wasn't the battle I signed up for, or it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. So you start your whole hero journey over again. And I've done that several times in the solar industry. And so I take those steps a little more emphatically, or with more heart, because I don't want to continue I want to win the battle. I want to get to where I want to be in my leveling up without battling things that I don't feel I should be battling, if that makes any sense. I'm maybe on my own, like, okay, Darth Vader, thanks, but that doesn't get me to where I want to go. So I find myself going back to step one. So I think that's probably my biggest takeaway from this, is to take the battle, get to the other side. stop trying to analyze it halfway through. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much. And again, I want to share with the group as I expand on the 3 comments we received. Thank you, everybody who contributed. Ultimately, now you understand what I do and why I do it. Because if we go through the hero journey again and again and again, and even though we receive financial success on the way, ultimately there is a reason. And that this reason is in our subconscious mind. This is the reason I share with you the clip I received from another coach who is extremely knowledgeable. She's a phenomenal coach. So this is what I'm telling you, that sometimes it's not about knowledge. It's not about understanding things intellectually. It's about getting into this hypnosis when someone who is at this higher frequency can guide us. And sometimes it's very subtle. And it's something that you have to find within your heart. So if there is one thing you remember from this masterclass, is that your next level is not through piling more information, is through connecting and spending more time into introspection. I can feel that everyone here is very, very intelligent, very erudite, very driven. I feel it. You are amazing. And ultimately, this is how we create this next level, where we release the resistance and we connect to our higher dimension. And as we wrap up the remaining of today's masterclass, your true power is within, and your true power is not revealed in your physical strength. It's revealed through your inner ability to always choose the light, even when there is darkness, even when there is a dark Vader. And 3 ways leveling up helps you. Ultimately, as you know, when you have purpose, you are driven by innovation and inspiration. My top success stories are from people who are driven by passion. They want to create something. If you are to ask one of my clients who recently won a pitch out of 8 finalists, her why is not to make more money. Her why is to save the polar bears. And she's the most passionate scientist you'll ever meet. Yes, of course, she requires an investment, a huge investment, to fulfill her impact. However, her deep desire is about being of service. And this is the power of having a strong why. And then number 2, obviously, as you can feel in this energy today, when you have a next level mindset, you attract people who resonate at this higher frequency. And the truth is that there are not many people like us. Many people settle down for shallow goals. This is why in my coaching, in the beginning, I've been a coach full time for 7 years. I've coached all walks of life. And I can tell you that I got to a point where I no longer work with clients who only want to shed weight, or they only want to make more money, or they only want to attract a high value partner, because these are goals that only benefit themselves. Whereas when you create a network with goals that collaborate together for a higher good, then you become a visionary leader and you raise the frequency of the planet. And we require leaders like you and me to help this world be a more compassionate and a more inspiring place. And yesterday in my dream, as I told you earlier, not only did I dream of a technology that helps you to fly 10 years in the future and come back, which was really cool. The one thing I dreamt at the end of actually, I wanted to share with you. The one thing that I dreamt at the end of my dream, I dreamt that I was somewhere giving a talk, and it was again in the future. And in the future, there was absolutely zero medical care. You only get insurance or you don't. And there were so many people in my vision that were left behind. And in my dream, I step up and I start preaching about medical care for everyone. And I say in my dream, I remember it, I say, let's focus on not saving money. Let's focus on saving lives. Let's make medical care available to everyone. It was my dream, I kid you not. And it's so different from coaching. And this is exactly what I mean. When you in your heart, when you are driven by impact, even if you're not at your profession, you're still going to figure out how to make impact. Even if I wasn't a coach, I'll still figure out how to do something with my life that means something. Right? So this is what I would love everybody to get from this masterclass, that this is true fulfillment when you do things that are bigger than yourself. And 3 ways to level up again: overcoming the barriers acknowledging if there is a Darth Vader in your mind, and then finishing the battle. As Andrea said, concluding the hero's journey so that you can reinvent yourself and become something else. And then number 2, focus on rewiring your mindset and increasing your frequency through gratitude, which is about authentic gratitude. So many people are mentally grateful, however, their energy is contradicting their mental gratitude. You can say all you want how grateful you are, however, if your energy is, oh, why didn't I make sales today? Why did I not go to the gym? Why didn't I do that? If your energy is focusing on the negative, doesn't matter how much you say that you are grateful. Your energy has to be grateful. You have to be fully grateful. Yeah, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for this. And to really mean it, to really be it, to breathe it, to live it. This is gratitude. And then obviously you have to implement a new constructive belief, which is, I'm concluding the hero's journey. I'm reinventing myself. I'm stepping into my true power. I'm removing any subconscious limiting beliefs, and I'm becoming the best version of myself to serve humanity and the world to the best of my ability. This is a new belief. I just made it up. You see how easy it is for you to create empowering beliefs when you are tapped in the cloud of spiritual intelligence. And then finally, by rewiring your mindset, you permanently transcend all limiting beliefs, get clear on your purpose, and unlock your true power. And as we finish with your takeaways from today, I'm going to wrap up with one of my favorite quotes. When I was in Florence, in Italy, I even saw this sculpture in person, very impressive, as you can imagine. And Michelangelo, the sculptor, said that the greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. So this is my invitation for all of you here to set goals that are scary. You have no idea how you're going to create them. You may be scared. You may have fears. You may have hesitations and limitations. However, that drive you have in your heart to fulfill your purpose is your biggest motivation, and it draws from inspiration. For those of you who may want to take it further, I have courses on my website. You can check them out, and they have guided meditations, connection steps, a lot of love. This is my signature aspect of everything that I do. It comes from deep love and desire to help and be of service. Of course, if you are a visionary leader who wants to create impact, if you are inspired by today's masterclass, whether you're here or you're watching the recording, if you want to get in touch with me and see how we can create your next level together from a place of heart, see, I pointed to my head, heart, heart and mind and spirit connection, then I would love to work with you. And the rest, please stay on the call as we have our final discussion. I'm going to stop the recording here. I love you, whoever you're watching this recording. Remember, your true power is from within. You're powerful beyond measure. Your true power comes from above. You're legendary. You belong to the top, and I can't wait to help you get there. Bye.